It was a Tuesday morning, right before recess, when the lockdown announcement crackled over the intercom. The principal's voice shook as he said the words no one ever expects to hear. Lockdown, lockdown. There is a student with a firearm in room 5. Room 5 was my son's classroom. I'm a teacher at Sky High Elementary. I've been there almost a year, and in that moment, every protocol I'd ever been trained on evaporated. All I could see was my 10-year-old Matthew, confused, terrified, maybe frozen under his desk, while some kid waved a gun around. I cracked my own classroom door, told one of my students to lock it behind me, and ran. The hallway was eerily quiet, except for muffled crying behind locked doors. At the far end, I heard the armed boy shouting, "I'll pull this trigger if anyone moves. I swear I'm not afraid." I reached room 5 and peered through the narrow window. Matthew was against the back wall, tears streaming down his face. In the center stood a taller boy, arm shaking, finger way too close to the trigger of a small black handgun. I didn't think. I unlocked the door and stepped inside. "Hey, you don't have to do this," I said softly. He whipped around, eyes bloodshot, and pointed the gun at me. "Get out!" I looked past him to Matthew. "Mama's here, baby. Everything's going to be all right." The boy screamed again for me to leave. I kept talking, slow, calm, inching forward until I was between the gun and my son. "Just give me the gun, okay? I promise no one will hurt you. We all make mistakes." For one heartbeat, he started to lower it. I lunged. The shot was deafening. Pain exploded in my side. I dropped to my knees, gasping. Children screamed. Through blurring vision, I saw officers burst in and tackle the boy. Then Matthew's small hands were on me, pressing the wound, sobbing, "Mom, no, 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 please don't die. I'll eat all my vegetables, I swear. I'll do homework first. Just please don't leave me. I already lost Dad. You're all I have." I managed to whisper, "I'm okay, baby. You're safe. That's all that matters." The paramedics came. Matthew refused to let go of my hand until they promised he could ride in the ambulance. As they wheeled me out, I saw the shooter face down, cuffed, staring blankly at nothing. The bullet missed every vital organ by less than an inch. Matthew still sleeps with the light on. Sometimes he wakes in the night just to watch me breathe. People ask why I didn't stay in my classroom like we're trained. The answer is simple. When it's your child on the other side of that door, there is no protocol in the world strong enough to keep a parent out. My girlfriend Leah and I run a YouTube channel, Dark Dreams. One night, we hiked to an abandoned elementary school that burned down in 1978 during a lockdown drill gone wrong. Most of the kids escaped. A few didn't. Neither did one teacher. Locals say it's haunted. We wanted footage to prove it wasn't. The building was a blackened shell in the middle of nowhere. Inside, our flashlights cut through dust so thick it floated like smoke. Lockers were melted into grotesque shapes. Tiny handprints, too high and too perfect for raccoons, covered the walls. We were joking around until Leah heard crying. Real crying. Children in pain. Before I could stop her, she pushed open a classroom door. It slammed shut in my face. From inside, Leah screaming. The unmistakable smell of burning wood. Kids wailing like they were on fire. I rammed the door until the lock splintered. Leah stumbled out, white as paper. I saw smoke, heard them burning. We tried to laugh it off and keep filming. Then, at the end of the hall, a woman appeared. Half her face smooth, the other half melted and ruined. She stared at us with dead eyes. We ran. Lockers began slamming by themselves. The crying grew louder, everywhere and nowhere. Near the exit, she stepped out again, impossibly fast, blocking our path, clutching a rusted crowbar. "You can't lock them in again," she rasped. "I won't let you. My boy Tommy was only 12. I watched him melt. I couldn't get to him. They cry every night." She raised the crowbar, convinced we were there to trap more children. I talked her down while Leah called 911. When she lunged, I took the crowbar away. She was frail, eaten away by decades of grief. Police and paramedics came. Later, I found the records. There really was a boy named Tommy on the victim list. His mother was never accounted for after the fire. She'd been living in those ruins for almost 50 years, trying to protect ghosts only she could hear. We never figured out if the crying was real spirits or shared hallucination from the smoke still somehow trapped in the walls. But we never went back. I was 13, doodling in 8th grade science, when the lockdown tone went off. Everyone rolled their eyes. Another drill. Then we heard screaming for real. Sneakers dragging on tile. Someone being pulled down the hall. A senior, Matt, crawled through the door's window, locked it behind him, and whispered, "It's Mr. Kessler. He's got a knife. There's blood everywhere." Mr. Kessler was the cool teacher. Dad jokes, let us eat in class. Everyone loved him. Matt wasn't joking. Through the door window, we saw Mr. Kessler drag Jake past. Jake's face sliced open, blood pouring. Kessler pressed his face to the glass, eyes wild, and smiled. "Science class isn't over yet." He smeared blood across the window and pointed straight at me. 2 days earlier, my friends and I had mocked him for playing with dead frogs while he cleaned specimen jars. I thought it was nothing. Now he held up the bloody scalpel and said, "I'll show you what a real dissection looks like. We'll start with the skin. Peel it back nice and slow." He scratched the scalpel down the glass, jiggling the locked handle. Kids were crying, hyperventilating. Miss Haley was on the phone with 911, begging him to stop. I don't know what came over me. I started dragging desks to barricade the door. Others saw and helped. We stacked them high, while Kessler kicked and screamed on the other side. Sirens finally came. Police took him down in seconds. Jake survived. Kessler never explained why he snapped. Mental break, revenge, both? No one knows. As they put him in the cruiser, he looked back and laughed. "Class isn't over." They sealed that hallway for good. Sometimes I still dream about the sound of that scalpel on the glass. I know one thing for sure. That barricade of desks saved our lives, and I'll never mock anyone again.